So let's talk about the Super Bowl right quick, right? Now this Beyonce at the Super Bowl, but this was Beyonce just a couple days ago. I mean, just look at their fingers though. Better yet, just look at the lips. Look at how one more fuller than the other ones are. I bet y'all ain't even peeped the ad during the halftime show, huh? Well, she basically pretty much came out with a clone.
Introducing Beyonce eyes. What the? Seriously?
Here we go with the all red again. If you don't see the checkerboard, then you gonna see all red. I also peeped this word in her little ad or whatever. BOTUS.
I'm running for Beyonce of the United States. Can you hear me now?
No breaking.
Now she said this stands for Beyonce of the United States, but the real meaning is Bank of the United States. This is what I be meaning by symbolism. You know how I told y'all how the bank's gonna shut down, people not gonna be able to get their money. You know how we gonna go to a one world currency, BRICS. That's what this about. Also, give it up for Taylor Swift on her amazing performance, because we all know this is scripted, and they all knew they were gonna win. Oh yeah, and this right here, as a married woman, but then again, it is all about agendas.
So again, on our live today, we did discuss these types of things, and I find it hilarious. I truly find it hilarious. I don't mind people making videos to grow their audience, but this conspiracy bullshit, come with better information, my guy. I mean, hell, if you take a picture of me today and look at me today and then look at me a week ago, then you can find some things about my face and my hands and everything that looks different depending upon the angle and the lighting to which you look at those pictures. I shot a video earlier today. I was sitting in the shadows of a tree with partial of the sun coming out, and my skin looked wholly different on that live where we talked about this mess today. And I probably won't shoot in that area again. But this is just a bunch of BS, my guy. It's a bunch of BS. And the fact that she had a commercial where there was a clone of her, we know that AI, how many movies have come out with these AIs that look like humans? She's placating, or Verizon was placating to the whole, AI thing that is going on today. It doesn't mean that she has a clone. Stop looking at Tyrone so much. And as far as her lips, dude, you ever heard of makeup? I have seen some women who have no lips at all, but they can use that makeup and they can make it look like they got lips. I do call that witchcraft, though, because some of y'all be looking rough and rugged. Then y'all put that makeup on. Some witchcraft going on right now. And then he want to go into the whole thing about Botus. Now, if she said that's what it meant, which makes sense, then that's what it means. That's like if I said, oh, Rentus is Rotus. Wrens of the United States. What, are you going to change that to say Rosicrucians of the United States because it fits your paradigm? That's all you're doing, is making it fit your paradigm. And I'm not even a Beyonce fan. And y'all kill me with this color red. We talked about this on the live today as well. Red was never a color of Satan or Satanism until y'all people start believing in Dante's Inferno's version of what hell was and what the devil looked like. Prior to that, all indications was that the devil was this beautiful being. If you look at the Slavonic book of Enoch, then you will see that he describes the devil, or Lucifer, which Lucifer would never be the name anyway, but as a beautiful angelic being. That he wasn't red with a forked tongue, with horns, but this was European Christian thought process because of Dante's Inferno. That's it. Dante's Inferno is where you're getting this from. But you don't research history enough to be able to know that. And so, but even prior to that, the color red was something that was almost close and akin to the color purple, where the dye, in order to make it, was something that only people who had money could get. And so that was a sign of wealth, a sign of royalty. It was never a sign of the devil until Dante's Inferno, and y'all are just buying into it left and right. Red could just be a person's favorite colors, one of mine. Now, as far as the Super Bowl being scripted, there are some indications to me sometimes that these professional games are scripted, that there are certain teams that they want to win. I am not a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I am definitely not a 49ers fan. But I knew that Kansas City had a pretty good chance of winning this game because the narrative, Kelce and Taylor, the new dynasty being made with Mahomes and Kansas City, Middle America, it's a great narrative for the NFL. It's a great story. If I'm the NFL, yeah, I want them to win. But you know, I was also saying they would not have mind if the 49ers have won. Because if you're a football fan, then you know what Mr. Irrelevant means. And since his name falls out my head right now, their quarterback was the last man drafted in last year's draft. Almost made it to the Super Bowl until he got hurt. For a Mr. Irrelevant to make it and become a Super Bowl champion would give so much hope to all those other guys who get drafted late in the NFL draft, and would be a great story. A great story. But the greater story is the Swifties and Kelce and Mahomes and their coach and the dynasty. That's a greater story. So the playoffs probably scripted to get those two teams in there. Super Bowl itself, maybe not so much. But I give you a little credit on that one. But for the rest of that stuff, I'm not giving you any credit. If they wanted us to go into a one world currency, the best time for that to have happened would be when they had the run on banks called the Great Depression. I know you're young, but the Great Depression, that would have been the time for the one world bank. Because people did make a run on the banks. The banks wouldn't give people their money. And that would have been a perfect time for the Illuminati to create the one world currency and put everybody under that one world currency. But guess what? They weren't able to do it then. And if it ever happens again, they won't be able to do it at that point as well, because you would have to get every country in the world to participate in it. And I know some people are going to come on here and say, well, the World Bank. Look, the World Bank is doing what capitalism does. If you can control the banking systems in a country, then you relatively control the economics of that country, and you have made your business infallible. It cannot fail. It has to continue. And those countries would do everything in their power to make sure that they continue. Do I think it's a good thing? No. But do I understand the business side of that? I do. Do I think that the World Bank wants a one world currency? Of course. Because that would give them more money and more power. Of course they do. But to think that they will still be able to control trade and get everybody under one currency? Nah. We got too much division in nationalism and racism for that to happen, my guy. So I don't think that's ever going to happen in our current time frame. So let me rephrase that. It's possible at some time frame. Maybe when the aliens come down and there's a whole world war fighting against the aliens and we have to unite to fight the aliens, or we have to unite to fight the AI. Maybe it'll happen then, because we usually come together when there's a common enemy. But as long as we are each other's enemies, that shit ain't gonna happen. You really think Russia and America gonna get on the one currency? That America and China gonna get on the one currency? Really? Without there being some type of massive war? Nah, it's not gonna come because banks fail. It'll happen because war. That's what it'll cause for the world to get on the one world currency. Frankly, I really don't give a damn, because I don't believe in your prophecies. And believing in the prophecies of Christianity that has to come before Jesus come back is a fairy tale. So us coming onto one world currency is actually will be a benefit to this world. Us coming under one world government would actually be a benefit to this world. Think about it, Christians, for a second. If we was under one world government, there would be no war. There wouldn't be a world war. There would be skirmishes and people who revolt, but there would be no world war. You'd be able to go and be anywhere you want to be without having to worry about a passport. Every country would still have its own type of economics, and the value of the money would still be a little bit different depending on where you are, because the economies would still work in pretty much the same way that they're working now. So is it really that bad? Or are you just so ready for all that death and destruction that your Bible preaches about? Because really, I think you are. I think you want it, which really tells me something horrible about you. So always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.